I have created a dashboard to show you the current status of the new project that I have created. The requirement list in here, only one requirement I have created and the status is not run. The test type in here, I've created one manual test and one Cucumber test. The overall test results is to do. I have not executed anything in here, and my coverage of the requirement is still not run. And also the test plan list and the test sets list are empty, as you can see in here on the project dashboard. I can create a test set in here to include the sign in and the sign out in one set. So I can go in here and create a test set, and the test set, I give it a name, and then I just create, and you can see it has been added in here. Now for this test set I have created, I can add more tests to it if I want to. And for example, like I need to add the automated test to it in here. So all I have to do in here, just create add tests, and then I can search for the automated test that I have created before, which is the number 5, the sign in. I can add it, or I can search for it because I know it is an automated test, Cucumber automated test. So it's simply, I just select in here Cucumber and then search for it and it will get it. Or perhaps a simple JQL to search for test type equals Cucumber, and here it is. Do a search and you will get it in here. This one, the sign in, is a Cucumber test. And then in here I add all tests for, or add one test, just one in here. So I have included in my test set in here these both tests, the manual and the automated. Now I can make use of Xray new feature, the test repository feature, to organize my tests. So let's do that, and we go to test repository, and then you can see in here all my tests have been displayed in here, but I haven't got any folder. If you do not remember the test repository, I have explained this in the extra section. All I have to do in here is just to define a folder for the sign in and sign out. So let's call it member access. I create one folder in here, and then I will move the sign in here and the sign out in this folder. And then likewise I can also create another one for the orders and the cancellation. So I can say order, member order, and then I can move this when they order something online, and then when they cancel I can do exactly the same in here, order and then cancel. So this is just to show you that you can organize yourself in here in a folder manner where you can find things like in the access, the member access in here. I've got 3 tests, and the member order I've got 1, and the cancellation I got 1 in here. So this is the test repository feature that we have introduced in the extra section. Now I will create my test plan, and this plan basically I will include in here the test execution results for the manual and the automated test, and I will call this plan version 1, which includes my components, the login and the logout, or the sign in and sign out, and just create the test plan. And any bugs found during the execution will be addressed in version 1.1. And the test plan you can see in here has been created. As you can see now, here is my test plan, and you notice that I've got only 1 test, but actually I should have 2 tests in here, the manual and the automated one. I've got this one, I've got the automated one, but I can always add in here the test that I want. I can also add a test from the set. You can see in here that my test in here can be added in here, or I can add it from the set. So select one. So the test plan should be having 2 tests in here, 1 to sign in, 1 to sign out, and this is for the shopping, the online shopping project. And you can see in here is to do, so I have not done any execution. So the next bit in here to execute, and then to include the result, our execution results. Having created your test plan for this version, you can see in here that we have not created any test execution. What we need to do next is to go and create in here the test execution. Now the test execution in here, because I don't have any other tests, only two ones. So I go with status and I select on to do and create. So I'm just executing these two tests with status to do. I selected a version and then I selected the environment if you have, and then click on create. Now we are in a position now to execute our tests because we are in here in the test execution mode. All we have to do now is to just run. So the next step to do in here is to go and execute each one in turn. Now I will start with the manual one. I know the manual one, you have done this before and you're familiar with it in the hotel booking project. But just a quick recap in here, you know for a fact that this is given to you in here to raise any defects at this level, and the defect that you raise in here might not necessarily be one of your steps. So you are given a chance in here to raise a defect and include screenshot and test evidence. Now you can also navigate next and previous between your tests, and when you go to the actual execution details in here, you can see your precondition. Now I'm running this test and the test says in here that I need to be logged out, and the precondition in here that you have to be signed in first. So this might fail if you like, so you can fail it as well. But if you fail the precondition, this means you have to fail every step in here. Now, just to put you in the picture, this is my eBay and I'm already logged in. So in order to log out, all I have to do is just sign out. That's what the test says in here. It says you navigate to eBay user homepage and then click in here the greeting drop down list, and you will see the sign option in here for you to sign out. So I go in here and sign out, and then the result in here that you are already signed out. So in here I will confirm that they all passed because I get exactly the result that I'm expecting. So I mark these ones as pass, pass, pass. So we have all my tests passed in here. You know also that if you can raise a defect at any level, assuming that you have encountered a problem in here and you have failed the test itself in here, you can add the defect itself and you create a new defect in here. When you create a defect in here, you will see Xray straight away will give you all the information regarding the defect that you encounter, and then will tell you also in here, so these are the steps that you counted, and you actually can include that in there, and that's how to raise a defect at this level. Now I don't want to raise a defect, so I'll mark this as pass. Everything is passed in here. Now in order to run your automated test in here, you have to do exactly the same. Just click on the arrow to go to the execution mode, and my test in here, this one is the feature file that we created in Catalan in here, and it has passed. So you have two options in here. You actually include the feature file in here and you pass it as part of the requirement, and this is, if you like, it's a manual way of doing it. Or if you are running an automated test within Catalan Studio, you can actually initiate the recorder and then create your test cases and then do exactly, you can export the result to Jira. As the test has passed outside of Jira, I just mark it as passed in here. I go to my test plan and check in here the status of the two tests, and you can see in here these two tests have one manual and one cucumber one. You can run any other test. As we said, you can use any other tool, and your test will be defined, as we said before, a generic, because it's not Catalan and it's not known what you actually following in terms of the framework, the automated framework. So that's another type of test. As we discussed before, it will be a generic. But for the time being in here, this is the way to include your feature file and to manually pass it. And finally, I built up a gadget for the online shopping project to reflect the latest status for the project for my test plan in here, which contains the two tests that we added, the manual and the automated one, and the status of the test. It shows you directly in here, and also the my requirement coverage what have I covered during my tests. This is the overall test results and also the overall test coverage. You can see in here that I've covered 100% of the high priority ones, so that's not bad. And also other gadget for the online shopping test list and the requirement itself and the test types and so on. I hope this lecture was useful. Thank you very much and goodbye.